What's up, y'all? It's your boy, eBay Predictions, and I'm going to be breaking down Deiveson Figueiredo versus Alex Perez. This is a great fight, y'all. This is, a great fight. I know we were supposed to get Cody Garbrandt versus Deiveson Figueiredo, but I actually think this is, I don't want to say a better fight, but I think this is going to be a little more competitive than what people think it's going to be. And I feel like obviously, I would have preferred Brandon Moreno to get the shot, but Alex Perez, I mean, he has a pretty good list of victories to get this number one contendership shot. So this is a good fight. Number four versus number four versus the champ. Let's say that. But yeah, y'all know me. Let's get to the stats. Deiveson comes in 19-1, fights out of Brazil, age 32, and a height of 5'5", and a reach 68. That reach advantage is something I think we got to be looking at. Alex Perez comes in 24-5. Fights out of California, age 28, a height of 5'6", and a reach to 65. So obviously Deiveson, you know, he has this ability with his stance to keep guys at bay. It's so weird. So I think that's something to really look at. But in terms of like notable wins for a guy like Deiveson Figueiredo, you know, his destruction of Joseph Benavidez, twice this year, by the way, twice, and he's gonna be fighting a third time this year, and I think he's in line to be fighter of the year. If he can destroy Alex Perez, he's in line to be fighter of the year. But the way he destroyed Joseph, especially in that second fight, man, the way he clocked him, bro. Oh my God, the power, you know. But but Joseph, Tim Elliott, Pojanto, John Moraga, like he beat some really good guys, and obviously he has that lone loss to Juicio Formiga, right? So I think that is something to look at for Alex Perez. He went on a really good streak, three fight streak. Beating Juicio Formiga, who, by the way, has a victory over Deiveson Figueiredo, like I was saying, which makes this fight even better. Um, you know, he has a win over Jordan Espinoza. He beat Mark De La Rosa, which is a decent win. But I think the best thing about this fight is that Joseph Benavidez has a win over Alex Perez. So that's what makes this fight super competitive. They both have wins over guys they've beaten, So I think that was really interesting. And the Joseph Benavidez loss was kind of weird. It was a weird fight. If you go look at it, like the way, like Alex Perez shot for a takedown, and he just the ground and pound that Benavidez did on him, and it was like twice. Like he finished him twice almost. It was such a weird weird loss. But it is, that's one point I'll be making about this fight. But yeah, back to, I think, to how these guys can really win. Let me give my respect to Alex Perez. I think Alex Perez, he has to, obviously the leg kicks or the calf kicks that he used against Juicio Formiga is something he'll have to be looking to. Like, Davidson's more of a boxer in there. He likes to throw more hands. But I think Deiveson will check those kicks. I don't think it might be a factor, but I don't think it is going to be a factor in there. But I think the number one thing for Alex Perez, he does have a wrestling background. It's his first art, and I think that's what he's going to have to use. You have to look at that Juicio Formiga fight. If Perez, if I'm in the corner of Perez, Formiga was so well into timing for takedowns and not getting hit, basically. And that's what Perez is going to have to do in this fight, and he's going to basically have to be perfect for 5 straight rounds. I don't know if he can do that, but that's what he's going to have to do. Deiveson, I think Deiveson this is going to be kind of close to the Alexander Bojanto fight, where Deiveson was just really able to, use his power to dictate that fight. Even though it was a good scrap, that was a great scrap to watch, but he was able to use his power to dictate that fight. And I think, honestly, it's his power. That's the number one thing he's going to have to use to win this fight. And yeah, I think in terms of who I think is going to win, I have to go Deiveson Figueiredo, even though I think Perez, has a phenomenal chance of taking this fight. I think Deiveson will beat him. Where am I going? I don't like probably second round, third or second round knockout. I think that's probably how he gets him. But I honestly, I have nothing but respect for Alex Perez. Like, don't get it twisted. I think Alex Perez has a legitimate chance of winning this fight. But just the way Deiveson has just finished, or just the way he's fought his last four fights since the Juicio Familia fight, he might have improved on his cardio, and we just don't know. It might put a clinic on Alex Perez, but I think Perez has a chance. Like, I don't want to disrespect him, and I know a lot of people are. I've talked to some people, and they just think this is going to be such an easy fight, for what's it called, for Deiveson Figueiredo. But I think Figueiredo's gonna. I think this might be harder than Cody. I really do. And this is all with all due respect to Cody. Cody Garbrandt is a legitimate bantamweight, and he's gonna be cutting weight. There's obviously that who gets knocked out first factor. They both have knockout power, so that's one thing you gotta think about. But man, it's like, god damn. Cody could legitimately just get knocked out there because it's not his real weight class. But Perez, this is his weight class. He wants this belt, and to overlook him like this, and he's been taking these fights, man. Apparently Moreno didn't take the fight. It's not like they didn't offer it to him. Apparently he didn't. And Perez has, I think, this self belief in himself. I've seen some interviews with him. This belief to go, win that belt. But I don't think it's going to be good enough to deal with a guy like Deiveson Figueiredo. I think Figueiredo's power, again, his power is just is something that's crazy. And even let's even talk about the grappling sense. Like, Tim Elliott tried to take this guy down and got choked the fuck out. Even when Pojanto was going for takedowns, like, Figueiredo was getting back up. Like, that's something to think about. You're going for takedowns like that. That's gonna it's going to set a pace, not only your opponent, but it's going to set a pace on your gas tank, and it might take away from you, So it might be the undoing of Alex Perez. So you sometimes you never know how these fights are going to go, but I think at the end of the day, I think Figueiredo's power and his power should come in, and I think he should handle a guy like Alex Perez and take him out of there. And yeah, I think I'm going to go third round TKO. I think Perez is tough. He's a tough guy. He could get flattened out like Joseph Benavidez, or not like Joseph Benavidez, like how Joseph Benavidez did Alex Perez, where Figueiredo's on top of him and he's just he sprawls, right, and Alex Perez is still going for a single leg, and he just pounds on him. It was the weirdest thing watching him take shots like that from Joseph, where he had no urgency to get back up. It was so weird, but it's at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm gonna be going Deiveson Figueiredo. This is a great fight. But yeah, Deiveson Figueiredo by third round TKO. And yeah, goodbye. Love y'all. Don't forget to follow my Instagram on eBay Fight Predictions and follow my Twitter. Love y'all and goodbye.